Hey guys, it's New 49, and Star Wars Battlefront's been out for quite some time now. It's the beta at least, and everybody's gotten a chance to play it. Even if you didn't pre-order it, you still got a chance to play it. And there are some things that I do like and things that I don't like. So let's just talk about, first of all, the overall aiming system. A lot of people assume that you just need to aim down sight when shooting. It's just a regular thing that's come down to first-person shooters. Aside from Counter-Strike, which is just a hip-fire shooting game, every game out there, Call of Duty, Battlefield, whatever, you name it, is basically an aim down sight and shoot. It makes your shots more accurate. You kind of zoom in on the player a bit, and it's just the normal way of shooting is you aim down sight rather than having a wide spread. But that doesn't apply to Star Wars Battlefront. So this is like a good and a bad thing, because the good thing is you can literally just hip fire and run around like willy-nilly and wreck everything, which is actually pretty good if you think about it, because it's like an arcade type of game. It's also great that they have a really quick spawn system so that the moment you die you instantly spawn back. Just keep smashing your space bar. It's not like Battlefield where you gotta sit there, stare at this guy who killed you, and you're like, I don't want to stare at the man who killed me, I want to go and kill that man. Now you can actually do that. You can just smash your space bar and you're right back in the action. You're back into the game and just kill everything. So what's the problem with this style of shooting? It's great, it's good, but it really gives no benefit to actually aiming down sight, because when you do aim down sight, or I guess right click to aim down at the opponent, it just slows down your crosshair movement. Your sensitivity slows down. You do get a closer view on the enemy, it just slows it down, but it doesn't provide you any benefit at all. Like in Battlefield or Call of Duty, if you aim down sight, you have a more accurate shot on the opponent as opposed to hip firing. In Star Wars Battlefront, you hip fire, you're pretty accurate, you can move around, it's still accurate, and you can basically have a fast sensitivity to maintain that aim on the enemy as you're jumping around willy-nilly. But if you aim down sight, it's no different. You're not more accurate, you're just as accurate as you were before. So there's really no point in using it. Maybe if you want to shoot somebody at distance, that's the only real benefit to it. But now with that being said, there's also this first person and third person point of view. You get two third person point of view on the left and right shoulder and the first person point of view. I have found absolutely no use whatsoever to use the first person point of view. Maybe there's going to be servers when this game is finally released that are first person only, which is going to be good. It's going to make me feel good playing the game to get that different change. But the third person is so much better, and the reason is a wider field of view. You have more to see, and that's always key. If you're the type of gamer that wants to win, you want to have the edge on your opponent. Obviously nobody wants to lose or die, so you're going to get that wider field of view. I can't even talk right now because of this, but you're going to want that wider field of view because you can see everything. You can see on the sides more, and that helps you for spotting your opponents coming your way. And there's some tricks you can do, like take this for example. If you're hiding behind a rock and you go to the third person on the left, if you turn the camera to the left, you can still see around it literally on the other side of the rock, and you are completely hidden, so you can surprise your opponent. And the same thing for if you do it on the right. You can look all the way to the right side and the opponent cannot see you, so you can surprise them. So this kinda is gonna get to a point of being a camping type of a game. If you think about it, the smarter players are gonna start using this more and more, and they're going to be really stealthy and smart about checking their corners. So a lot of people are going to be surprised when the opponent comes out from around the side because they would have never expected him, and he's always going to be pre-firing. So if you ever get pre-fired, it's because they probably did this to you. So that's the benefit to it. Also downside, and the other thing is the downside to this third person point of view is you can never tell when you're shooting behind a wall, because in first person your aim is straight on. Wherever you aim, you can shoot straight to it. But in third person, especially with the camera being off to the left shoulder or the right shoulder, and you're behind a wall or a rock in this case, and you're shooting at the enemy, that shot has a chance of hitting that rock. There's no indication that it's going to hit that rock. You don't really have some kind of a HUD indicator. You don't have anything kind of telling you, hey, you're going to hit that rock. Preferably, I'd like it so that the crosshair maybe changed a different color, or I get like this message underneath saying, hey, your crosshair's behind a wall and you're in third person. Maybe you should move a little or try to aim a little bit off to the side, kind of to help you understand that, you know what, I'm in third person, yes, but my shot is going to hit the wall. It's not going to hit the opponent. Now, aside from the rant, it's a super addicting game. Definitely something that when you get into, you are pretty much hooked to keep going and try to get better at it. Because one of the things that they've managed to really nail down is that it's easy for your grandma to get into the game and have fun playing it, but it's also hard to master it. There's so many things you could do to get better at the game, and things that you could do that would help you achieve a higher score, but at the same time, somebody who's new in the game isn't going to wreck you like in Battlefield, because that's the problem with Battlefield right now. Yep, I said it. I mean, seriously, look at Battlefield. Everybody just pulls an Igloo or Heat Seekers, and suddenly they're considered the best player in the world who can take down anybody. And the air. I mean, that's the problem. It takes no skill. It's just hey, let me just keep aiming at the guy, it locks on, and pew, they're dead. That's a big problem. It takes no skill. Something that does take skill is having to aim ahead of the target and use your rocket on them. That's a skill factor. Something that somebody would only learn playing the game for hours on end, as opposed to somebody new to the game who's just like, oh, let me just hold my right click and bam, I killed the enemy. No, it shouldn't be like that. That literally degrades games. It makes games not so fun, not addictive. You want to make a game addictive, you make it easy for grandma to get in there and have her fun playing the game, but at the same time, you're the guy who's had 300 hours or more in the game, so you know things that she doesn't, and you can wreck grandma. Sorry, grandma. I love you. So ultimately, when you look at Star Wars Battlefront, one of the things they did to achieve that through the shooting system for the infantry on the ground is basically, if you were to be the type of player who's a spray and pray, which is basically just hold down your shoot button when you see an enemy and be like, oh my god, kill that son of a bitch. Well, the problem here is there is spread. Over time, you're going to hear that gun is overheating, and at the same time, there's spread. So there's spread is going to be more, and you're not as accurate. Whereas a guy who's had hours into the game is somebody who's going to probably burst or tap his shots, and he's going to have a much more accurate shot. So he's going to be aiming at the head, bursting or tapping, and he'll take you out a lot quicker than you being the guy who's going to be sprayed. And although the flight mechanism in the game requires you to have to hold your right click to lock onto the target, if the target is one who was to do turns in the air, you would find that you holding the right click, your lasers are shooting behind him. So there is a skill factor there where a smart player would know to have to aim ahead of them in order to get the lasers to hit on target. So yes, there is a skill factor, even though it's a bit of a lock-on system, and that is what makes this game addicting. It's the fact that it takes skill to be really good at it, but anybody can get into the game. It still has these easy mechanics. Something else I really like about this beta is that it isn't absolute crappy and glitchy. It actually feels like a final release. It's actually really well done. And I mean, at this point, that means they only have like small things to fix, like Darth Vader's cape from flapping all over the place on your screen with some weird graphical issues. Or maybe the fact that when you get into an X-Wing or a TIE fighter, you find yourself just stuck in the air for a couple of seconds before you can actually control it. I mean, all that stuff is really simple code to fix. At least I hope it is. I'm assuming it'd be fixed at the final release, and it's not going to be that bad as opposed to how bad Battlefield 4 was, having to patch that across the whole way. And I'm not going to make a quick judgment call on the game saying that it's bad or it's good, but I will say it is very addictive, and it's something that I'm looking forward to play when it finally releases and see everything that's going to be in the game. I think that's when you can actually make a final judgment call on the game, is when the game's actually fully released and you see everything it has to offer. And overall, it is an extremely fun game, so that's something I will say, and it's something I wish I could still play right now, even though the beta ended. Something else that also did quite bug me, and I didn't understand why they did this, is there should be multiple sensitivities. Yes, there should be an aim sensitivity, but there should also be multiple vehicle sensitivities. A sensitivity probably for your turret or your land vehicles, and also one for your flight vehicles. It's pretty much 3 sensitivities is all you really need, because the flight vehicle sensitivity is really weird, and it kind of seems very controller based. I don't know why they did that, and I'm hoping they'd fix that. And why the heck are there no dedicated servers? Like, Jesus Christ, you guys know me really well when it comes to Battlefield. Every time a new game comes out, for Battlefield at least, I get like 64 of you guys in that server, and we start doing all sorts of shenanigans. And imagine that in Star Wars Battlefront. There needs to be dedicated servers. Why they don't put that in, even if you can only have 40 people in a server, imagine 40 people just running around and having fun. I can already just think of like a couple of things on the top of my head, like getting as many people as we can on top of the AT-AT as it's walking across. Or maybe everybody just forms a circle around Darth Vader or Luke Skywalker and watches both of them go on to a duel. But instead of them actually killing each other, we'd be the guys in the circle who just throw a bunch of grenades at them in the middle and just see what happens to them and see who's the real Jedi. I mean, really, can Jedis dodge grenades? I don't know, you tell me. But you know what? On the top of my head, you know how Darth Vader can choke people out? What if like a rocket comes his way and he just chokes that rocket out, like blows it up in the midair? Like, but then again, imagine like what we do, get like 40 people in the server, and then that rocket's coming this way and Darth Vader chokes that rocket out and it blows up all 40 people in the middle of it all. I mean, just imagine that. But you know what? And I know this is going to sound a little crazy to some people watching this video. I am so happy all those people who've been crying about this game not living up to the graphics, or it's literally a Battlefield reskin, have literally been shut off completely. Like, this game is totally not a Battlefield reskin. It is so living up to all the graphic expectations. It is definitely a good game. Completely different than Battlefield. And it is a Star Wars experience, and I just cannot wait to play this game when it finally releases. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there. If you guys enjoyed this video, do leave a like on it and subscribe if you're new to this channel. And let me know in the comments what you guys think, what you'd like, what you don't like. I just want to hear what you guys got to say, and I will see you guys later.